the horrificness of the world and move towards the horrificness of Aaron's poetry. See what I did there? See what I did there?
I
Because
did.
your poetry is like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Good day.
I'm sorry. Just the little tongue click there was that was the most passive aggressive, like, Dave?
Rhyme or free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry. Good day, and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we take a deep dive into our poems from youth, yesteryear, or even yesterday, always asking the question, why in the world did I write this? I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave.
And together this week, we are looking at the first real poem from the third anthology of my high school collection, Analogy of Life.
Real poem, bit of a stretch.
Oh, yeah. Only when comparing it to the stuff we talked about last week. So, Dave, as always, sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, really, I've got a poem for you, but it's just as bad as your poems. I feel like my poem for this week feels like someone wrote it in third grade, but someone with the writing skill of a preschooler.
I am very intrigued. Let's just jump right in.
Okay. The weather shifts to cool. No more time to sit in the pool. My favorite time of year now is coming near. Cozy under a blanket, I think that I will make it.
Yeah.
Right? Some slant rhymes, no meter really.
It just, didn't do
I just
anything.
like cozy blanky weather.
You see, I can somewhat sympathize. I like my sweaters, but I've never been one for blankets. They bother me. My feet, feet stick out. It's just.
I feel like you're complaining about having the wrong size of blankets, buddy.
That is my complaint.
Get better blankets.
Yeah.
No, this morning my wife and my son made some bread pudding, and I ate some of that as we watched Great British Bake Off.
We watched that last night.
Oh, nice. It's so good. It makes me so happy.
Yeah. First episode, or are you guys?
Yeah, we just did the first episode.
Yeah. Cake week.
Yeah. For the next few weeks, this podcast is turning just into a Great British Bake Off review show. How funny was that opening? That Star Wars opening.
I think they pushed it a little when they brought in Wheezy Paul as Darth Vader.
All worth it for Prubaka.
That was, yes.
Prubaka was very good.
Yeah. A bit behind the scenes, we did have a wonderful guest lined up for today. Had to cancel last minute for good reason.
Did he finally listen to the podcast and just said absolutely not?
I always worry.
We'll hope to reschedule with him soon.
Yes. So we are pivoting back to the works of high school Aaron this week.
What is this poem called, Aaron?
Oh, this poem is called Love. Now, remind me, have we had a poem titled Love before?
I don't know. I really try and block out most of these episodes as quickly as I can.
I don't think we have, but it feels very generic.
It feels thematically appropriate for everything that you do.
Yeah. So, here's Love. Love is the greatest gift that comes with the darkest curse. You give your life to the one you love, and they do so in return. But circumstances will pull you apart in time. Death or travel will kill your relationship, and you die right along with it. The curse of the blackest color, for to love, one must be ready to die. For love is life, and when it is taken away from you, all you have left is the empty shell of your former self. Lost and alone, dead.
'cause tonight will be the night that I will cover you.
Over again. And live to see another day. I sweat here.
Why did I do this?
I don't know.
Why did I do this?
No, this is extremely emo.
Yeah, like hard emo. I think this is the most fascinating thing about the emo culture, is the whole, like, love is the greatest gift, but also, like, death, doom, turmoil, blah, 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 blah. Like, the juxtaposition of how, well, I just associate emo with darkness and anger and angstiness, but there's a big through line of love, even though it's usually a pretty shallow idea of love.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the draw, right? It's
Right.
appealing in that it's appealing to the high ideal of like romantic love.
Right.
And yet it smacks you over the head with, but you're unlovable. I don't know. or the ones you love won't love you as much as you love them.
Right. Yeah. That unrequited love.
Yeah. I was watching just last night. It took me, I just wasn't in the right headspace to dive into this a couple months ago when it dropped, but FD Signifier did a tour de force on the Manosphere.
Yes.
It's an 1.5 hour long video essay.
And it is really good.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. And throughout that episode, all I was thinking was, especially in context of these poems that we're revisiting, I'm like, how close was I to that edge?
Right?
To the edgelord edge. I mean, it's just these things that I'm putting out here of like, you love or you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And if I had just fallen down the right rabbit hole at the right time, like, thank goodness Reddit wasn't around, or I didn't know of it at the time. But that was just so eye-opening and terrifying. Yeah, the FD Signifier video essay on the Manosphere.
Very, very good.
Yeah, I think that will inform a lot of the insights that I bring to this season. Is just that examination of the Manosphere and the way it preys on the sense that something's off and yet still tries to appeal to like this self-righteousness.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's really seductive. I know that for a bit, I was a fan of Thunderfoot. Have you ever?
No.
He is a very frustrating person, but I found him on YouTube at the right time, and it pushed me down this like angry, angsty, upset with the world. He had a whole video series about how Anita Sarkeesian is ruining gaming and blah, blah, blah. And I agreed with him because I didn't know any better. And like, that's kind of his core demographic of just making people hate other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's related to that Manosphere stuff.
Yeah. So I'm fascinated by exactly what you pointed out. This like love is the greatest gift, but darkest curse. It like totally negates what love I feel like actually is.
Right. The balance of a relationship rather than just loving from one side.
A mutual love.
Yeah.
Very different experience.
Especially when you think about the different types of love. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just relational. Like, there's also, like, in your familial love. And that's something we're trying to explain to our son because he's really upset that he can't marry mommy or his sister.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's just a phase. It's weird. It's, It's
really strange. But, like, I say this with love, Aaron. See what I did there?
Yeah, I do.
You have the same level of understanding in this poem of love as my 3-year-old son.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my son has a more healthy attitude towards love than you do.
Yeah. Yeah, you love someone, you truly want to be with them.
Yeah.
This just, I don't know what is going on here.
I was going to say, we need context if there
Oh
is
gosh.
any.
I can't even tell you. This is such a gray area in like my relationships
Yeah.
because this is before my first long-term relationship,
Okay.
which is coming up within this year. This is still 2006. But the minute that I get into this long-term relationship that lasts about a year and kind of a year and a half, depending on, I mean, we did have like one of those like high school breakups, get back together type situations.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating in that once that happened, the poetry kind of dries up for a bit. There's yeah, so like I associated at this point poetry with expressions of grievances.
Yep.
I think that is the emo side of things. It's just like the only place where I was experiencing kind of lyrical emotion was in really piney, whiny songs targeted to teenage boys.
Well, that is something that you see in a lot of different poets, is that they have that one kind of central idea that they focus through. Like they have that one hermeneutic, that one lens to inspire their poetry. It's just good poets have like interesting things to say about their topic.
You're telling me Walden Pond is more interesting than love, Dave?
I didn't say Thoreau was good.
Ooh.
Snap! Yes, this is a Great British Bake Off show and also a Henry David Thoreau call-out podcast.
A thorough throwdown.
I hate you and everything you stand for.
We can make it worse. A thorough throwdown. Actually, I don't know enough about Thoreau to do anything thorough.
I just remember the ants fighting in his cabin. That's literally all I remember from On Walden Pond.
So, yeah, as far as context go, it's either the two other people who I pined over that I oscillated between with the poems that we talked about in season 1 and season 2.
Right.
I don't know. I seem to indicate here death or travel.
I was gonna say, it sounds like there's something specific, like somebody moved away that you expected a relationship with, or you were hoping for a relationship with.
And that's the curious thing, because I'm trying to think if I ever tried to do a long distance. I mean, there are definitely some people from like either like a church camp encounter or but yeah, I don't know. The travel that I experienced, no, it wouldn't have influenced. I don't think it would have influenced my poetry in 2006. But like, I had dear friends, male friends, like who moved away around. Like when I got into middle school, one left, and then when I got into junior high, one left, and then when I got into high school, another left. So I had like 3 really good friendships that just died essentially once they moved away.
Right.
But this doesn't seem to, I don't think that was what I was indicating with that term travel.
Right. Well, and I'm trying to pick this apart because like you mention relationship and you say the one you love. So I'm assuming it's like a romantic relationship, but I'm trying to give, 16-year-old Aaron some credit here and pretend that you can think of love in a more broad sense.
Yeah. If you remove that sense of romantic and broaden this scope to familial and platonic and I still don't like it. I still think it's an awful reading of love. It's that false dichotomy of you either love fully or die without it.
I am coming back to, I think it's First Corinthians. If I have everything that I need, but I do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, without love, I have nothing. I mean, I can kind of see.
Yeah.
I can warp my perspective on this poem enough to see that in here.
That's quite a stretch.
Yeah, it's quite a stretch, but I'm trying to be more positive, Aaron. I'm working hard at it, but I still really dislike all of your poetry.
Yeah, I do too. This is there's very little redeemable.
Yeah.
I think the thing that is worthwhile about
Mm-hmm.
returning to this poem is that it does kind of pull back the curtain on some of those internal thoughts
Right.
that a lot of those profiting kind of grifters of these like manosphere movements
Yeah.
just exploit to the nth degree.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole idea is you can take someone's insecurity, you can take someone's fear over being unloved or unlovable, and rather than helping someone to see why they are lovable, why they are worthy of love, you say, yeah, and it's these people's fault. Or if you use creatine and get big muscles or whatever, like, you find a way to sell something rather than helping people.
Yeah, if you're scared of the curse that comes with love, you just gotta lock it down. I don't think they use the term "lock it down."
Don't feel your emotions. Emotions are for the weak.
No, not
That's why I haven't felt emotions.
Not lock the emotions down. Lock down your woman.
Oh.
Yeah, you see. Yeah.
I was more so going the direction of turn it off.
Yeah,
like a light switch. Just go click.
I think that's a different.
Yeah. That's a different kind of manosphere.
Yeah, that's a different
fear.
grift. Yeah.
Manosphere.
Oh my gosh.
Manosphobia. Snoop. I got nothing. I'm sorry. I will say the one thing I like about this poem.
Okay.
The last two lines, I think, could be an interesting exploration of the word dead. Lost and alone, dead.
Oh.
Like moving past the physical sense of death, but talking about like death in your life. Yeah, that's a useful concept. It helps us to deal with actual physical death, but it also gives us words to talk about like a friend moving away or a relationship ending. You can talk about that as one of those small deaths that happen.
Yes. How we experience grief far more in our life than we tend to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you become lost or alone in the sense of maybe a job not working out or a relationship falling apart or a dream that you once had kind of going off the rails or something. There's and then if we reverse engineer this and work up from there, I think there's something redeemable here. And you could talk about how life can our time on this earth can experience many moments of new birth or new life when it is infused with love. So it actually is the reverse of a curse. It's the undoing of the being lost and alone.
I want, oh my gosh, this could actually be really interesting to do one of those I'm sure there's a term for it, but a poem that you read forwards and then that you read backwards.
Should we try
like the first way through is like this angsty I'm a sad teenager.
Yeah.
But then reading line by line backwards. Dead, lost and alone, is the empty shell of your former self all you have left? And when it is taken away from you, for love love
Nah,
is life.
it's so close.
But like, I think you could actually rework this into something where you read it one way and it's that damaged, self-loathing, but also self-aggrandizing poem, but then you read it backwards and it's, but all of this is a lie, right? All of this is somebody trying to profit off of your misunderstanding of love.
Yeah, again, this would have to be reworked quite a bit, but I see that. It could work.
I really like the third and fourth to last line. All you have left is the empty shell of your former self. But then you reverse those, is the empty shell of your former self all you have left. Like the fact that works in a different light.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, Dave, good or garbage?
Good or garbage? Well, I don't know if you heard, but in my recording studio, aka my wife's craft room, out of the window, I heard a passing garbage truck. And the reason I heard it was because its brakes are very, very squeaky and high-pitched and annoying. And I feel like this poem, in all of its prepubescent, well, pubescent,
yeah.
You want to talk about your puberty, Aaron?
Mid-pubescent mess.
In all of its screechy, whiny emo-ness, reminds me of the loud squeaking of a garbage truck's faulty brakes.
And all the garbage it carries. I love it, Dave.
That's a good metaphor. I like that one.
I love it. Okay. Well, we're going to give you that palate cleanser that we try to every week. The words of a true poet. So this is a poem titled My Love by Bruce Nugent. My love has hair like midnight, but midnight fades to dawn. My love has eyes like starlight, but starlight fades in the morn. My love has a voice like dewfall, but dewfall dies at a breath. My love has love, like life's all, but life's all fades in death.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I think it's exploring a similar theme.
Yeah.
Just in a much better way. I'll just give you a fair warning. The next poem in the collection is called Love 2.
Oh my gosh.
Roman numerals 2.
So it's not Love 2, it's Love E.
I. Yeah.
Love E.
So yeah, that to look forward to. Hopefully we can get a guest in here to break it up, but
hopefully we can get multiple guests in so that we don't have
to ever read it again. Yeah.
Dear listeners, please submit your own poems so that we don't have to read Aaron's poetry. Save yourselves from having to listen to Aaron.
Honestly, I love our guest episodes far more than this.
Right?
Well, this has been My Bad Poetry.
Now go write some of your own bad poetry.
Whoop.
What?
It's not worth 2 whoops.
Whoop whoop.
No.
Take one back.
There you go. Rhyme free doesn't matter.